So, before you have the chance to drink and get some oxygen, I would like to invite Mr. Ross Sutherland to join me to have a reading. So, when I first realised I had to collaborate with Ross on this evening, after the initial sense of disappointment, what I suggested to Ross was that perhaps we do something a little bit different. Perhaps we interrupt what will essentially be 90 minutes of poetry for you people and do something that's actually useful to you. So I really racked my brain to think about what could possibly be useful to you that we possess. And then I realised why we're here in the first place. Auld Enemies. I forgot to mention in the introduction to the evening, thank you so much, Creative Scotland. Really appreciate it. So nice of you. It struck me, the poetry business, funding, awards, grants. All of you must have some amazing ideas that perhaps you just haven't phrased quite right. And perhaps Ross and I, we can help you this evening, and you can leave here with the right ideas to get yourselves a nice 5-figure check for nothing. Ross, after all, is one of the most winningest poets in the country. 2011, 2012, 2013, the Luke Wright Best Poet in the UK award winner here. Thank you. Of course, last year, his Federer-esque streak was interrupted by the Djokovic-esque Kate Tempest for her wonderful work, Bo Diddley's Poetry Rhyme Rap. So, Ross, please.
Namaste, thank you, Stephen. I think what we kind of would like to basically do is to try and help you guys generate some ideas for future arts projects. So I think if we were to just keep coming to you over the course of our kind of lecture and just get you to shout out at us a subject that you think would be an interesting subject for art, and then we will kind of like workshop that idea and return it to you. If you don't have any, I know it's weird.
If you don't have any ideas, I'm going to pick on people.
Yeah, and
not really. It's not butlins when you're a teenager. I'll just come up with things when I look out at you. It's best to suggest. Anyone any ideas? A noun, a complex noun, a single thing, a horse, an act. Coal. Cone.
A cone.
This is, I'm very proud to have recently been nominated for the Young Scottish Poet Award, even though, I'm not Scottish or have Scottish parents, but it's £20,000, but I didn't understand you. A cone. Someone who speaks English. Anyone?
Chicken Kiev.
Lovely, beautiful. Ross will start a dedicated Facebook page for the Auld Enemies Chicken Kiev project, while I will man the Twitter account. We will fashion memes about chicken Kievs and post them relentlessly. We will update our moods and status with phrases like, is it just me or does anyone else feel like chicken Kiev right now? And I'm still getting over the chicken Kiev from last night. It was so good, my knees hurt. We will then visit with cutting-edge information technology scientists in America and elsewhere to develop technology that will allow us to beam chicken Kievs directly into the brain of a monkey.
New subject?
David Cameron's face.
We will design a video game in which players must attempt to stop David Cameron's face by travelling back through time and systematically murdering all key players vaguely associated with the promotion of David Cameron's face. This game would be presented on a Game Boy, duct taped to a goat, and then said goat is then sent into schools, community centres, prisons, etc.
My turn again, don't be shy. Any ideas? What needs money? What are people missing from the arts?
Irony.
We will write a film script entitled Irony. The film will actually be about young street children in Rio learning about what it is to fall in love in a 21st century favela, but finishes with them painting a mural that says, Irony. At the end of the film, the boy or girl is killed tragically, or blah blah blah.
A new subject, please.
Can't.
I think we actually wrote in the cunt because we knew Nikki was going to say it. Self-description then.
Okay, let's combine that with something else.
The Dutch.
Okay. We will recruit actors to talk about Dutch cunts very quietly in public. The actors we prepped to have different opinions on the Dutch and to use a variety of regional accents to symbolise diversity of the country. In order for the scene to have the greatest degree of verisimilitude, these actors we mixed in with other actors talking about other subjects, standard equity rates. Some dogs will be trained to wander about nearby.
Beautiful. That will definitely get an award. Next one.
It's got no touring possibilities.
Badgers.
Badgers. We taught the Badger show, ironically, though most audiences won't know it's ironic. And it will haunt us for years because our audience's capacity for irony is limited. Like a poet boy band group or a Badger sandwich. Take a seat, please. We can take your money for the infomercial later. It'll be available online. It is also a webinar. Any more words?
We did? Okay, alright, can I take another subject, please?
David Luiz.
Sorry?
David Luiz, the footballer.
David Luiz.
Louise.
I don't know David Luiz, the footballer. So we will visit the International Centre for David Luiz, the footballer, which is situated in Toronto, acronym the ICDLC. And here in the International Centre for David Luiz, we will don shamanic bear cloaks and read very, very short stories by Yevgeny Zamyatin in the lift.
Ross and I will first seek out match funding from the David Luiz Institute in Leeds. And when receiving a rejection from that esteemed body of men and women, we'll count the cost of the letter, labour and time as supporting kind. We will then seek out the arts councils of the earth, testing the waters as to whether Switzerland enjoys David Luiz as much as we do.
Another subject, please.
Food banks.
In English, please.
The bank.
Food banks.
Food banks.
It's got topical.
We will encourage the president of the Food Bank Association fan club to let us give him a new makeover every 3 days, so he looks younger and younger over the course of the art project. By the end of the project, the president will be wearing so much foundation that he'll start to resemble an egg with a crude pencil face. Because food banks are just like that sometimes, and I don't have to explain it.
We will release 18 convicts from prison and tell them that they owe their freedom to food banks. Right, my last one. You must all have...
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. That's beautiful. Can you spell hypocrisy, Ross, when you write it on the board?
Oh, it is.
We will situate ourselves positively with lower-level executives of a short-lived satellite television channel whose number is an age no human being can possibly reach by tattooing hypocrisy across our left forearms and therefore tapping into both the hypocrisy market and the contemporary, paradoxically transient fad of 21st century tattoo culture, thus diluting the importance of both hypocrisy and tattooing in one fell swoop, and thus increasing its attraction to a wider, more mainstream audience.
It doesn't have to be a subject. If you just had a disturbing dream recently, if you'd like to tell us about that, maybe that will be a call from the subconscious for something to make art about.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. Can I have another one? I just did a quick scan and I'm going to see you guys the time.
Simulating insomnia.
And another one about sleep I have to pass.
Is that a commentary? Less medical, please.
Any more?
The Scottish anti-syzygy.
The Scottish
Anti-syzygy.
syzygy.
What's a syzygy?
It's opposition of two things, I think.
The Scottish anti-syzygy.
Caledonian.
Scotch eggs. That's not syzygy.
It's the Caledonian that's like sweet.
Someone wants the Scottish anti-syzygy, someone else wants Scotch eggs.
Scotch eggs.
It's got unruly. It's got unruly. Alright, we'll never get funding like this.
We will. It's not really embarrassment. Well, look, we'll have a discussion about that later. We will create a neurotoxin that causes violent hallucinations of Scottish anti-syzygy. For up to 18 hours after original exposure. Audience members can therefore be anywhere, in a pub, making a sandwich, driving a coach, etc. Then, all of a sudden, a hellish, psychedelic diorama will descend upon them, literally out of thin air. This psychotropic experience will allow audience members an opportunity to experience what it would feel like to have Scottish anti-syzygy actually there in the room with them. What shape does Scottish anti-syzygy take? What would it scream at you? Such questions will be answered.
Thank you. No, we do appreciate your contributions. We're going to keep all the money for ourselves. You have a 20-minute break. That's okay. Thank you. Bye.